Hello, and welcome to Historical Humans Reads, where we take primary sources and bring them to your screen. I'm Colum Coleman, and today we are reading from Mahabharata, an epic more than 10 times the combined length of the Iliad and the Odyssey. It is one of two major Sanskrit epics of ancient India, alongside the Ramayana. It is a text about both dharma, Hindu moral law, and history that recounts the struggles of the Kurukshetra War and the fates of the Kaurava and Pandava Princes. The Mahabharata that we know today was compiled between the 3rd century BCE and the 3rd century CE. The version of the Mahabharata that we will be reading from will be the English translation of this epic performed by Pratap Chandra Roy in the 19th century. Our excerpt today comes from section 159 of the Mahabharata, the Vaka-Badha Parva. And with that, let's begin. Janamejaya asked, O first of Brahmanas, what did the Pandavas, those mighty car warriors, sons of the Kunti, do after arriving at Ekachakra? Vai-Sampayana said, those mighty car warriors, the sons of the Kunti, on arriving at Ekachakra, lived for a short time in the abode of a Brahmana. Heeding and eleemosynary of life, they beheld, in the course of their wanderings, various delightful forests and earthly regions, and many rivers and lakes. And they became great favorites of the inhabitants of that town in consequence of their own accomplishments. At nightfall, they placed before the Kunti all they gathered in their mendicant tours, and the Kunti used to divide the whole against them, each taking what was allotted to him. And those heroic chastisers of foes, with their mother, together took one moiety of the whole, while the mighty Bhima alone took the other moiety. In this way, O bull of Bharata Sakra, the illustrious Pandavas lived there for some time. One day, while those bulls of the Bharata race were out on a tour of mendicancy, it so happened that Bhima was at home with his mother Pritha. That day, O Bharata, Kunti heard a loud and heartrending wail of sorrow coming from within the apartments of the Brahmana. Hearing the inmates of the Brahmana's house wailing and indulging in pietous lamentations, Kunti, O king, from compassion and the goodness of her heart, could not bear it with indifference. Afflicted with sorrow, the amiable Pritha, addressing Bhima, said these words full of compassion. Ah, woes assuaged we are, O son, living happily in this house of this Brahmana, respected by him and unknown to Dhritarashtra's son. O son, I always think of the good I should do to this Bratnanai. But, like what they do, they live happily in others' abodes. O child, he is a true man upon whom favors are never lost. He pay thee back to others more than what he receiveth at their hands. There is no doubt some affliction hath overtaken this Brahmana. If we could be of any help to him, we should then be requiting his services. Hearing the words of his mother, Bhima said, Ascertain, O mother, the nature of Brahmana's distress, and whence it also hath arisen. Learning all about it, relieve it I will, however difficult the task may prove. Vishwanyana continued, Well, mother and son were thus talking with each other. They heard again, O king, another wail of sorrow proceeding from the Brahmana and his wife. Then Kunti quickly entered the inner apartments of that illustrious Brahmana, like unto a cow running towards her tethered calf. She beheld the Brahmana with his wife, son, and daughter, sitting with a woeful face, and she heard the Brahmana say, O fie on this earthly life which is hollow as the reed, and so fruitless after all. which is based on sorrow and hath no freedom, and which hath misery for its lot. Life is sorrow and disease. Life is truly a record of misery. The soul is one, but it hath to persevere wealth and pleasure, and because they are pursued at one and the same, there frequently occurs a disagreement that is a source of much misery. Some say that salvation is the highest object of our desire, but I believe it can never be attained. The acquisition of wealth is hell. The pursuit of wealth is attended with misery. There is more misery after one has acquired it, for one loves one's possessions, and if any mishap befalls them, the possessor becomes afflicted with woe. I do not see by what means I can escape from this danger, nor how I can fly hence with my wife to some region free from danger. Remember, O wife, that I endeavored to migrate to some other place where we would be happy. But thou didst not listen to me, though I frequently solicited by me. Thou, O simple woman, told me, I have been born here, and here I have grown old. This is my ancestral homestead. Thy venerable father, O wife, and thy mother also had, a long time ago, ascended to heaven. Thy relations also have all been dead. Oh, why then didst thou yet like to live here? Led by affection for thy relatives, thou didst not then hear what I said. But now the time is come when thou art to witness the death of a relative. Oh, how sad is that spectacle for me! Or perhaps it is come time for my own death, for I shall never be able to abandon cruelly one of my own as long as I myself am alive. Thou art my helpmate in all good deeds, self-denying and always affectionate unto me as a mother. The gods have given thee to me as a true friend, and thou art ever my prime stay. Thou hast by my parents been made the participator in my domestic concerns. Of pure lineage and good disposition, the mother of children, devoted to me, and so innocent. Having chosen and wed thee with due rights, I cannot abandon thee, my wife, so constant in thy vows, to save my own life. How shall I myself be able to sacrifice my son, a child of tender years, and yet without the hirsute appendages of manhood? How shall I sacrifice my daughter, whom I have begotten myself, and hath been placed as a pledge in my hands by the illustrious Creator himself for bestowal on a husband, and though whom I hope to enjoy along with my ancestors the regains attainable by those that only have daughters and sons. Some people think that a father's affection for a son is greater, others that his affection for a daughter is greater. Mine, however, is equal. How can I be prepared to give up the innocent daughter upon whom the rest of the region's bliss, attainable by me in afterlife, and my own lineage and perpetual happiness? If again I sacrifice myself to go to the other world, I should scarcely know any peace. For indeed it is evident that, left by me, these would not be able to support life. The sacrifice of any of these would be cruel and censurable. On the other hand, if I sacrifice myself, these, without me, will certainly perish. The distress onto which I have fallen is great, nor do I know the means of escape. Alas, what course shall I take today with my near ones? It is well that I should die with all these, for I can live no longer. Thus ends the 159th section in the Vaka-Badha Parva of the Adipava. This has been an excerpt from the Mahabharata on Historical Humans Reads. If you enjoyed this video and would like to hear more excerpts from original texts, please follow or subscribe to us on your platform of choice. And if there is a work you would like to hear, be sure to like the video and leave a comment listing it below. Thank you for listening.